Hello, MGTOW. Hello, man. This is Howard Dare. Thanks for stopping by. So, I want to talk about repealing the 19th Amendment, because that's the only way that we're going to get the women to stop voting. Now, here's the thing. Nobody willingly gives up power, because they've gotten used to it. They enjoy it. They enjoy the benefits of having it, as do I. So, I've come at this from a few different angles, and I think the only way that we're going to get it done is if we can trick the women into giving up the vote. And I believe this is possible. I really do. And, I've been looking, look, the evidence makes a valid case for the argument. As soon as women were given the vote, well, not as soon as, things started to go downhill. You can't run any enterprise on the principles of altruism. It just doesn't work. They're inconsistent. You can't have a strong, healthy, independent, functioning system if altruism is a part of its operating system. I'm sorry. Now, at the earlier stages of a child, somebody cooperating and building up and learning skills, absolutely. A pregnant woman that needs help, an elderly person that needs help, a sick person that needs help. Okay, fine. The system can have this compassion built into it, this altruism built into it. You certainly would give more concern and empathy for a family member than you would for a complete stranger. At the same time, most of us, we don't like to watch other people suffer. Some of us do. Now, the problem is for the free, independent man. Or individual, the free, independent individual. Except the women, it's so much easier for the woman to rely upon the state and to rely upon the kindness of strangers. There's really no such system for men. A man has to learn to not rely upon that system in order to become a strong, functioning, independent man. Independence requires defiance. Defiance requires a willingness to deal with rejection and isolation. Without those qualities, how could you be a leader? How could you ever adopt a course of action that was beneficial to the system that you were representing? You couldn't. It's a conflict of interest. You can't have the King of England and the Pope both running England. It just doesn't work. It's got to be one or the other. And it's the same with you as an individual. And I know that we're brought up to be part of the group. And I know that the message from a leftist, feminist, gynocentric mainstream media and popular culture conditions people, forces people to adopt that mindset. And yet, it is inconsistent with becoming a free, independent individual. You see that, right? If you're depending on government welfare for your housing, for your food, for your education, for your medical insurance, you're a constant dependent. If you feel that these things are owed to you, why would you work hard and earn them for yourself? You wouldn't. And understand that you would use guilt and shame and obligation and emotional threats in order to get the things you wanted. Does this explain why you've got an entire culture screaming to overturn a lawful election? The lawful election of Donald Trump? They're like spoiled children. Of course they are. They pitch fits. They're like terrible children, but they're destructive and hateful. And recognize that without the group, they could not be effective in their personal lives. How could that be possible? What kind of existence can you have if you know that the only way you can survive is if you're part of the group? And what compromises will you make in order to remain part of the group and thereby undercut and sell yourself out? And even forgetting about the people who are aware of your circumstance and are above your circumstance and might use it to exploit you. What about the people that are below your circumstance and are even more desperate than you and cannot bear to see you rise above any of this? It makes them look bad. It makes them feel bad. It makes them have to examine the work that they're doing. So in many cases, the people around you have a vested interest in making sure that you don't succeed, that you cannot become an independent individual. It would mean that they could also become an independent individual. It's like if you have a bunch of friends that are fat and overweight and sit around and play video games, and you want to start working out, they're gonna say, no, don't do that. Come on, let's play a game, have a soda, and if you hang around them, If you sit there and you play games and you have a soda with them and you have some Cheetos with them, it's going to be very hard for you to become a strong and fit and healthy man. And they don't, so if you separate from them and you start working out and you start taking care of your diet and you don't hold on to negative, hateful thoughts and you start seeing some results, when they meet up with you and you meet up with them, they'll shame you, they'll attack you, they'll belittle you. They'll say you're not their friend anymore because it's making them feel bad. It's a mirror on them. And you know this, but now apply this to your entire life and the people that are right in your life, your friends, your family, your coworkers, your associates. They don't want to see you succeed. They don't want to see you be strong. They don't want to see you be healthy. Do you recognize that? What would happen if you did everything right throughout the day, but at the end of the day, the people that you cared most about attacked you emotionally, abused you, accused you of being an unworthy sort of person. They guilted you, they shamed you, they attacked you with the obligations that you didn't meet for them. Even though, without altruism, understand, you have no obligations to them. None that you don't have any obligations that you don't willingly take on. And those are not obligations, those are the things you willingly take on. Those are your prerogative as a free individual. But most people are not free individuals. Most people are part of the group. And they find fault with others in how they are deviating from the group. So the group might, attach based on playing video games and eating Cheetos and finding fault with other people who do good work. You know guys like this. I'm sure you've known guys like this. They're fat slobs. They can't earn any money. They can't hold down a job. They can't get ahead in life. And they blame other people for all of their shortcomings. And if you hang around with them, you will become like them. And when you come around them, they will shame you, they will guilt you, they will try to use obligation. They will try to use the concepts and principles of altruism, that you have to take, that you're part of the group, that you have to take care of them. Don't you see? But they have nothing for you. All they have for you are platitudes, meaningless statements that, come on guys, we're all equal. Men should take care of men. Why? Why should you take care of someone else? Are you their mother? Are they your baby? Do you love them? Are they good people, right? What about a hateful, lazy, dishonest scumbag of a man who comes into MGTOW and says he's MGTOW and then proceeds to attack the character of men who have been in MGTOW for many years and producing content? What about that? Do you have to be his friend too? Do you have to listen to his side of the story? Do you have to look at things from his point of view? What about if somebody wants to steal from you? If they want to come into your house and they want to take your property? Okay? They want to take all of it. Do you have to listen to their point of view? Do you have to open up the door and let them in the house and listen to their argument? How about if you just give them half of your stuff? Wouldn't that be more reasonable? I mean, it certainly would avoid any sort of trouble, wouldn't it? How about if you just give them 1/10 of your stuff? How about that? Isn't that more reasonable? Come on. You don't want to see other people suffer, do you? How about just 1%? How about just 1%? You don't want to see them suffer, do you? Boy, it's going to be an awful lot of trouble to try and stop them, isn't it? So how are you going to stand up to it? And how about if there's millions of them? How are you going to stand up to it? You're not without your basic principles. Not without moral and ethical principles and premises that you have checked and you are sure of. Otherwise, you have no argument. Benjamin Franklin said, democracy is 2 wolves and a sheep voting on what to have for dinner. Right? So you're a man and you want to do what's right for you, for other men. But, you're voting with 3 women. So they're going to vote for you to go to war and for you to pay ridiculous taxes to bring immigrants into your country to give them free housing. Because, it pulls on their heartstrings. It pulls on the women's heartstrings. Do you think I'm making up this scenario? Do you think this isn't the exact scenario that's coming to you? Do you not realize that you've had to give up your job among, the women so that they could give your job to someone that they feel is more deserving because it touches their heartstrings? So hopefully, you see the argument, right? The women can't make these decisions. So hopefully, before everything goes under, before we've, reached the tipping point where Western civilization just can't be saved, the women will recognize and give up willingly, this responsibility. Another argument that I'd like to put forth, and I'll save it for another video, the idea of no taxation without representation, right? Okay, well, no representation without taxation. So if you're not paying a considerable amount of taxes, why on earth should you have a vote? And won't you always vote to take other people's tax money and split it up amongst, for yourself? Won't you always vote to increase the responsibility and burden on other people and lessen it upon yourself? So we've got multiple arguments coming at this issue, as crazy as it sounds. And we will touch upon these arguments, as crazy as they might sound, in another video. So please like, share, comment, subscribe, donate, and join me again, Howard Dare, as I plan to have more content for you. Thank you, MGTOW.